Raleigh, North Carolina was just named the #2 best performing large city in the country by the Milken Institute. But what exactly does that mean, and what pushed Raleigh to the top of the list? My name is Matt Martin, and I'm a realtor in the Raleigh area of North Carolina. I've helped tons of clients relocate to the Triangle region, and if you're looking to do the same, I'd love to help you too. And if you'd like to see more content like this, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe right down below. So let's jump right in. First off, what does this title even mean? Well, the Milken Institute's report states it very simply. The Best Performing City Index reflects a metropolitan area's effectiveness at promoting economic growth while remaining attractive to residents and businesses. So essentially, Raleigh, North Carolina is the second best large city in the country at growing economically while maintaining happy residents and businesses. That's super impressive. To come up with this list of top performing cities, the Milken Institute looked at 403 metro areas across the country, breaking them almost evenly into large metros, 200 in total, and small metros, of which there were 203. It then looked at a bunch of criteria, 13 in total for each of these metropolitan areas, broken down into 3 key categories: labor market performance, high-tech impact, and access to economic opportunities. And a quick note that 2024's rankings are based on data running through 2022, so there is a little bit of a lag. So let's do a deeper dive on each of these to see what drove Raleigh to the #2 spot. And spoiler alert, Raleigh scored in the top quartile on every one of the 13 metrics. We'll start off with the labor market performance category, which includes 5 of the 13 criteria, and it covers short and medium-term indicators of trends in employment and wages. So this category looks at how much the labor market has grown in the past 5 years, from 2017 to 2022, along with how wages have grown during that same period. Raleigh really shines here with job growth of nearly 15% over that 5-year period and an even more impressive wage growth of 52%. This is driven by 2 segments of Raleigh's economy: business and professional services and leisure and hospitality. Raleigh has several industry groups classified as high tech, which we'll talk about in the next section, that have bolstered the growth of the business and professional services sector and provided the Raleigh area with a reliable increase in high wage jobs. In fact, business and professional service jobs have grown by 83% in Raleigh since 2017. However, the segment of Raleigh's economy with the largest one-year wage and job growth is actually leisure and hospitality, with its employment bouncing back to nearly pre-pandemic levels by the end of 2022. And during 2022, the 17.8 million visitors to Raleigh spent $2.9 billion, exceeding expenditures in 2018 and 2019, and indicating a close to full rebound for a broader tourism industry. So our economy here is booming. The next category is high-tech impact, which looks at the presence and growth of high-tech industries and accounts for 4 of the 13 criteria. This category looks at the importance of high-tech industries in the overall economy, including the weight of their contribution to GDP. And anyone who knows the Triangle region knows that we thrived here. Raleigh has managed to attract high-tech firms and high-quality talent driven by its proximity to 3 major universities located in Raleigh and the neighboring Durham-Chapel Hill metro areas: NC State University, Duke University, and UNC Chapel Hill. We're also bolstered by the Research Triangle Park, or RTP for short. This 7,000-acre business park drives the region's economy and is located smack dab in the middle of those 3 universities. RTP is the #1 largest research park in the country and employs nearly 50,000 workers across 300 companies, including titans like IBM, Cisco, Microsoft, and NVIDIA. And just outside of the park, we have relative newcomers Apple and Google. Not sure if you've ever heard of them. RTP was recently ranked one of the top biotech hubs in the country, only trailing the much larger cities of San Francisco, San Diego, and Boston. So it should come as no surprise that Raleigh high-tech GDP growth was a staggering 43% from 2017 to 2022, and the region is home to 14 high-tech industries that outperform the national average. That makes us the 9th best performing high-tech city in the country, mainly trailing only those markets that I referred to earlier, like the Bay Area of San Francisco and Boston. That's pretty impressive. All right, on to the last category, which is access to economic opportunities. And this reflects a city's ability to remain attractive to residents by providing access to services and by building inclusive and sustainable social structures. This covers the final 4 of the 13 criteria and looks at things like income inequality, access to broadband, and affordable housing. Raleigh exhibited strong performance on access to economic opportunity indicators, which is evidence of resilience to economic shocks and of its ability to maintain an affordable cost of living. Raleigh stood out for its performance on housing costs and broadband access and was the only Tier 1 large city to rank in the top quartile on both metrics. In terms of access to affordable housing, Raleigh has jumped on the post-pandemic construction boom and prioritized housing projects, ranking 12th among all US cities for new apartment construction. That said, Raleigh still has a housing shortage like much of the rest of the country, and demand is significantly outpacing supply. Raleigh also scored well on income inequality, indicating less of a discrepancy in income across the region than in many of the other large cities surveyed. I think this last category truly encapsulates the overall theme of the Milken Institute's report, because it shows that even with all the economic and wage growth and the boom of high-tech industries continuing to come into the region, there's been a sustained focus on keeping the city as affordable and accessible as possible, which has kept residents happy and wanting to continue living here. So let's recap. Raleigh was just named the 2nd best performing large city in the US by the Milken Institute due to our booming economy, including both job and wage growth, our booming and nationally significant high-tech scene, and our access to economic opportunities, including a relatively affordable cost of living and resilience to economic shocks. That's a pretty impressive list, if you ask me. Oh, and in case you're wondering what large city took the number 1 spot, well, that title went to Austin, Texas. You can check out my whole video on Raleigh versus Texas here. But in terms of this report, Austin outperformed Raleigh in its economic growth. The 2 cities were about tied on the strength of our high-tech sectors, and Raleigh bested Austin in almost all of the economic opportunity categories, especially housing affordability and income equality. So while Austin has grown a ton recently, unfortunately, it's become unaffordable for many, which I definitely touch on in my video. So are you surprised by the results? Let me know in the comments below. And if you're ready to check out what makes Raleigh, North Carolina such a great place to live and work, I'd love to be your guide. You can call me, text me, or email me at any time. All my information is included below.